Okay, it's come to my attention that some students are having a hard time with a part of the calculator because the Zoom for the specific problems that are being coming up, the Zoom standard isn't working for you. So let me give you just like a little brief what we could do about that. So what I've done is I've in my calculator I've typed in a problem that a student sent to me, and we're going to work through this together. We're going to figure out what our window should be. So, all right, so like I'll just show you. So if we did Zoom standard, you'd see it would look, this is what your graph would look like. Yeah, that's not so useful. So, and especially if we're trying to find mins and maxes, and if we're trying to find zeros or y-intercepts, can't really see much. So the first thing I would recommend is going to your zoom, and we're going to arrow down to option 0, which is called zoom fit. This is the calculator doing its best guess at what it thinks you want to see. And now at least we can see a graph, because that's better than what we had. And you can see it looks like we have a little bit of a max, but I'm not quite sure what's going on there. So what now I'm going to do is manually adjust just a smidge. I'm going to go a little bit further to the right and a little bit further up just to see what I see. So I'm going to click window. And so a little bit further to the right would be changing my X maxes. So let's go 15. Then I need to adjust up, and look at this. The numbers going down are 6,000, and going up is 100 or 200. So let's go to 1,000 and just see what we see. All right, so now we can see we went up, but here, and then something's happening in here, and then it's going up again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, look, I know going to the left, my left-hand end behavior is, going negative infinity, negative infinity. Right, as x approaches negative infinity, y is approaching negative infinity. And it looks like to the right that's happening. And we could adjust our window to kind of verify that. So it looks like all the interesting stuff's happening right in here. So what I'm going to do is show you another trick. Go to zoom, and we're going to choose option 1. We're going to say zoom box. Now this is going to be a corner of my box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to arrow, just kind of get it over close to that interesting area. And I'm going to say that's my bottom left corner. So I'm going to hit enter. Now when I arrow over, you'll see it's going to make a line. And I'm going to arrow, there we go. Now I'm going to arrow up. And you'll see I have a little window. And you can kind of adjust this manually however you want it to be. And then we're going to hit enter. And now it's going to give us a zoom of just that space. There we go. So now we can see, this does not look like there's an x-intercept there. We could check with the second calc, but it doesn't look like one's going to be there. We do look like we have one there. It looks like we have a maximum here and a minimum here, right? And this would be a local maximum and a local minimum. Because the graph does go above it and below it in other places. So now I can do second calc and use my functions there as needed. Okay, so just want to show you that little technique for dealing with the zooming, and hopefully it gets you through any problems that don't quite graph how you're expecting them to graph.